So I look at religion as one of those things. Let me figure out how to make it in the world, how to acquire material things or status or whatever the case may be. And then one day, then I'll go find God. But not today. My name is Todd Brown. I was born on the Caribbean island of Antigua. I grew up there until I was about 12, 13 years old. So I migrated to the States June 12, 1995. I have 4 brothers, 3 sisters. In Antigua, the primary religions on the island is Anglican religion as well as Seventh-day Adventist. My mom always instilled in me to pray and remember to put God first and just have a general guidance in terms of being a good person. My main questions regarding God growing up was, what was our purpose in life? Why is life unfair? Why is it some instances you hear, oh, God is, He's gonna bring fire and brimstone and punish you. But it seems contradictory when you hear, oh, he's so forgiving and he's such a kind and gracious God. So I was kind of mixed in that aspect. And then the other thing was, it felt like I was made guilty if I had too many questions. I'm supposed to just accept it and think shrouded in mystery and just follow, and that never really sat right with me. My relationship with my brother Claus, he was the cool brother. Every time we speak, 60% of the conversation will be around church and you need to take your faith seriously, you need to be saved. And he was a member of the Church of Christ. So he got baptized in the church probably in the early 80s to mid 80s. And he would invite me on the weekends to come out with him. My first impressions of the Church of Christ initially was mixed. For him to be in a church that seemed predominantly Filipino at the time, it was a little curious to me. I came across a documentary or some lessons on Jesus Christ. So that was the first time I kind of put religion in a different perspective. So to see Jesus in a sense of like a historic text, not someone who's biased or try to sell me on their faith or their religion, was interesting. So that made me kind of dig into it and did more research. Made me curious that I wanted to take Bible lessons again. I felt it was a good way for me now to ask more educated questions. And then especially when the lessons about different prophecies that happen throughout mankind, I'm like, oh, I researched that. I literally witnessed the growth in some of those prophecies being fulfilled. And to witness that as an outsider was awakening. I remember we was just holding worship service in one of the brethren's basement. Why is everyone else thriving and they're just worshiping in someone's basement? And then over the years, it grew and they got their own place of worship. The church itself spread to different locales throughout the country, across the world. People from different cultures, religious backgrounds, different stories. And then now people turn away from the church. Certain churches accept certain teachings they didn't accept before. But then this church is consistent. It's consistent in its belief, it's consistent in its teachings, and it's consistent in its growth. When I first heard that this is a true church, it was a turnoff. It sounded presumptuous, to be honest. I didn't know what it was based on, right? When you make a bold claim like that, you have to be able to back it up. And then later on, now revisiting the worship services from a different perspective, where it's more, I guess, objective, and almost with an intention to dispel that this is a true church, only to be met with facts and prophecies.
What type of questions did you ask as a Bible student?
Different questions I asked as a Bible student was, why did God create us? If God is so omniscient and He knows everything, why do we still have to pray? What's the proper way to pray? Why is prayer important? It took me about 6 to 8 months to finally become committed after my last Bible study lessons. It was a life-changing commitment. I was living my life, I guess, comfortably, and certain things or temptations that I enjoyed, and I didn't necessarily want to sacrifice those things to follow a religion. The other reason it took me a while was part of me couldn't believe it was real. It was, okay, I have all these questions, I did my own research, and now I'm gonna go trip you up in the Bible studies, and none of that happened. It actually just, all my questions got answered from the Bible. I was in the worship service one evening, and the lesson the minister asked put God to the test. So I'm like, okay, well, I needed a car at the time, and I previously was in a dealership earlier that day trying to negotiate for a car, and the price just wouldn't come together. So I had a personal prayer like, well, if God, if you're so real, I'm gonna get this car. And then literally when I came out of worship service, there was a voicemail on my phone from the car dealership. It's like, oh, Mr. Brown, you know, we couldn't get the car you want, but we got something different that we were able to approve. All the paperwork is done. You could pick it up tomorrow morning. And I was like, all right. I promised that if I get this car, then I'll have more mobility and I could not only do my work, but I could go to every worship service and be consistent. As I started to accomplish certain things or got a taste for, I guess, the lifestyle I thought I desired, I realized it wasn't as meaningful before I had it. Because sometimes we look at religion as a restrictive, conforming way to live our lives, whereas most of us want to be free and feel like we have control and power over what makes us happy. What the Church of Christ offered that was missing in my life was a true sense of truth. So what I would say to people who don't need a church, as long as they believe in God, I would say dig deeper. Ask questions, pray to God, ask Him for that guidance, ask Him for that acknowledgement and confirmation to find His truth. The reason I would encourage people to give the Church of Christ a chance and listen is your salvation depends on it. It doesn't cost you anything. If you give something a chance, either you gain from it or your life remains in change. So if there's a gain to be had, why wouldn't you pursue it? My biggest fear is missing out on God's promise. In this journey, there's a lot of ups and downs, but I take comfort in knowing that my faith is strong and that God always fulfills on His promises. I feel humbled in that sense because I know I don't deserve it. And looking at my life ahead, having God's promise and having God's guidance, it feels almost like a superpower, almost like I'm cheating, like I have a cheat code, but I'm humbled to have it and I'm grateful that I do. So that makes me very optimistic of the future, trials and triumph.